Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to our Case IH dairy farm here on Calmlands. I know that the corn header does not match the color of the rest of the machine. Something must have happened with my copy of the mod that I didn't have an appropriate header, and I tried to use a newer case, and it didn't work. If you saw the last episode, you know that. So we're running this New Holland for now, and we're doing all right. We're getting some sunflowers in. Now, you might be wondering why sunflowers on a dairy farm. Mostly because we just had this little small section here and it seemed like a fun option, but we will not be feeding the sunflowers to the dairy cows. We will be putting these into our grain silo and keeping them until the price is good. It'll be a nice little financial boost. If you've been with this series the whole time, then you know we actually started off with a ton of extra money, and it didn't seem like we would ever get to a point that money really was an issue. And sure enough, you buy implements, 10,000 here and 20,000 there, and before you know it, we're at 150,000, which feels like a pretty reasonable operating budget for a farm of this size, honestly. I don't plan on purchasing any more livestock. We have some in the main dairy barn that will be taking some heifers and calves over here to this side farm, and that's about it. We're just going to keep doing field work and letting the cows do their thing and selling the milk. Now, I know that the way this game is designed, it is far more profitable to do productions. So rather than buying the extra field, what I should have done if I only cared about money was I should have got a dairy. Then I could turn my milk into cheese or, whatever type of dairy product, and that would sell for exponentially more money. That would have been the play if I cared about money. But I actually care about having a playthrough that feels like a Midwest dairy farm. And most dairy most dairy farms of this size would not own their own dairy. They would not You would not make enough milk off of 50 head of cattle to justify owning a dairy. That's only something that makes sense in Farming Simulator. Uh, Instead, we will continue to increase our herd until we get to a point that we feel like we can't keep up with it, and then we'll sell livestock as necessary. But I don't necessarily want to spend the next 50 episodes or whatever in that grass field doing grass work over and over. So, what I may find myself doing here soon is rotating through to make another grass slash hay slash silage field. Um, Something along those lines. I haven't decided quite yet, but our yield here is not super impressive, as you can tell. This is like our fourth or fifth pass, and we're about to get to 2,000 liters. But sunflowers are kind of a lower yield crop, anyways. So once we get this little strip taken off, we will hop back down and work on the corn again. I just wanted to open this video doing a slightly different job since the last video we were down in that cornfield the whole time, pretty much. So what I may do here in a minute, once I get this turned around, is go ahead and put this on a worker, and I'm gonna run the corn that we already have to the silo, and I may do some chopping down there while we wait for this. It's probably gonna correct and go to the left. Watch this. Oh, nope, it's gonna correct and go. What on earth? Why would you take that angle? That's probably whatever. Will this work go on a worker? No, it will not. Okay, this I definitely have to do myself. All right. And we want this guy. We're only 35% full, but I'd rather just get this dumped off because we're going to want to unload the sunflowers here. So yeah, it's a nice sunny October early in the season here. We're trying to get our crops in. Oh, is that weeds? It looks like that field has a bunch of weeds in it. Huh. I guess because I didn't plow it, now we need to put herbicide on it. Okay, well, add that to the list of jobs to do. Should have expected that. So, hopefully you guys are still enjoying this farm. I have noticed, just generally speaking on YouTube, over time, it's really hard to maintain interest in a series for like long term. That's gonna drive me crazy. Just hold up, bro. It's really hard to maintain interest. You know, people are like, ooh, this, you know, let's see how this guy set up this farm, and they are excited for those first couple episodes, and then they go on to do other things. But I really appreciate the real ones who are sticking with this playthrough and watching how it all plays out. I'm trying to just do the one a week so that you don't get behind and feel like you can't keep up. I know that happens to me sometimes where I'll be watching a playthrough and somebody will, I'll get an episode or two behind, and then I'm like, I can't find an hour to get caught up. I don't have an hour to get caught up, and then I just move on from their series. So I hope people don't do that with this series. I hope you're sticking around, see how we grow and develop, and as new old tractors come out, I try to bring new old tractors to the series, and we've had quite an evolution in equipment. I mean, even this New Holland Forge chopper is new. I just got it last episode, so hopefully people will give it a shot in that way. Stick with it, but this is probably not the most fuel efficient way to do this, but I don't really feel like trying to make that turn on the end right now. I think I'm gonna shave this off now. This is where it becomes a comedy show. Can I back up? I don't get how to do this. So I need it to go straight back. So if I don't turn the wheels, it should go straight back. Nope. I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. I don't get how to do the backing up with two implements. The wagon always turns. Always. 100% of the time. Just doesn't make sense to me. I are a bad operator. Alright, so we're at 4,000 here. I don't know how much more of this I want in silage and how much more of this I want as grain, but I think I'll just play it by ear. Come on, give me some credit for that one. Give me some credit for that one. Anyways. Moving right along here. Moving right along. Trying not to miss like I did that row. So once we get this cornfield off, we will have the soybean field down below the cows. That's a pretty decent sized field. I'm hoping we get a pretty good yield out of it. Soybeans are pretty profitable, so hopefully we'll be able to make some progress there. Between the milk and the crops, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot. I know I'm pretty sure I said this last time, but there's not a whole lot more equipment we really need to get at this point. We just need to run what we have and keep going, keep enjoying the farm, enjoying the progress. What does this do about, looks like 3 rows at a time, huh? Yeah. So it takes 2 passes with this for every 1 pass with the planter. So that does make the job take pretty long. That's alright. We're essentially chopping money. Cows are going to turn this into milk, which is the same as cash. We need to get somebody to make a milkman mod. So you could just essentially like setting things to automatic sell. But that'd be kind of fun if you were out in the field and the milkman came rolling up and took whatever milk you had for the day, for the month, and you just get your check at the end of the day. Ching! Here's your $10,000 worth of milk. I wonder how milk pays these days. I know on the consumer side, it is definitely more expensive than it was when I was a kid. So I imagine farmers make more, but everything costs more to operate. Fuel cost, equipment cost, land cost, tax cost. I don't know really how subsistence farmers, well, you know what I mean, small farmers. I don't know how small farmers do it these days. Seems like it would be pretty challenging to make ends meet. Did that harvester stop? I guess it did. Well, we are at 93% and we're about to hit that magic number where it just stops accepting anymore. Right there. Talk about knowing your equipment, huh? Alright. So I am actually going to get this sunflower situation going again, and then I'll take the... Is that guy just sitting there charging me money? It told me when it was at 80%, but it didn't tell me when it was empty. Grumble. So what's that tank hold? About 3,000? 3,500, something like that. Oh, wow. Okay, perfect. Now we'll take the chaff over and put it up in the silo. I think this is the second load of 22,000 basically. So I think maybe at least one more load of chaff, and then we'll do the rest as grain. That feels right. Well, I love this tractor. It's just perfect for this farm. Not too big, not too small. Handles really well. Just the right amount of power. Just absolutely perfect amount of power. And it doesn't have those weird shifting things that some of the other tractors have. Just really love this tractor. You can tell when I plan on doing a lot of the job myself because I have my favorites. If I'm just trying to do something like for the video, I'll stage it with some of the other equipment. But if it's me and I'm going to be doing it the whole time, I definitely have my favorites. I feel bad because I'm always disappointed when I look back and see that slurry pit that I couldn't figure out. There's a lot in this game. Like, I don't know how you guys feel, those of you that play this game as well, but there's so many little things that are just a little janky, you know. It could have so much promise. You know, if I was getting slurry or manure over there that I could then use as fertilizer, I wouldn't have to use solid fertilizer or spray as much. Just a little stuff in this game. But we'll get to do herbicide here soon. Probably not this episode, but soon. That'll be a different job than we typically do. Yeah, it's amazing how quick everything cycles around. You know, it's like we have, you know, now it's time to plant wheat and barley, which we did last month, but we've got this little harvest window here, and then it's going to be kind of nothing for several months until we get back to the spring. But in those nothing months, we still have to feed the cows, and I don't know that we'll do a whole lot of infrastructure changes this winter. I know that's something that I've done in the past, like build a new building, that kind of stuff. But this year, I think what I might want to do is put in a place to work on my tractors. Or I thought about putting in a used shop, you know, like, and I know I talked about this at least once on a video, so sorry if you're hearing this again, but I was thinking, you know, instead of driving up into the center of town, maybe I could put a shop somewhere else. The problem is the game won't let you build on property that you don't own, and I don't really want to buy a parcel of land just to put in like a role play shop, you know what I mean? So if I could either think of a reason that I would do that, or I don't know, maybe now that I'm thinking about this, and it's totally random, but I wonder if like I don't know. That seems kind of a waste of money. I was gonna say maybe I could put a shop like over by the heifer barn over there. This would be essentially in our front yard, so that doesn't make sense. But if I plant one of these fields in grass, or like maybe this field down here, if I planted it in grass, then I could use this middle area, maybe a shop there. I don't know. I don't want to ruin the farm feel though. You know, I don't want to put in a vehicle garage and ruin the farm feel. The heck, dude? There we go. No, there we don't go. That should be better. Alright. Boop. Boop. Let's go. So we're getting sunflowers in and silage in. Corn silage. Hopefully the cows will like that. I should check and see how much milk they have. Okay, they're at 8,000 and they're at 6,000. Yeah, I can definitely take a load of milk. I definitely like that this is a more natural fit than the John Deere we were running. I'm so glad that that person commented. I wish I could remember your name because that was so helpful. The person that suggested this New Holland chopper, just a much better fit for the farm. What I'm wondering about right now is I wonder if there's an implement, or yeah, I guess implement's the right word for it, that would allow me to transfer milk. Like if I got a bigger tanker, could I park that bigger tanker in the yard and then use a smaller tank of some kind to go get the milk from the cows and then transfer it into the larger tanker to run it up and sell? Does that make sense? I think that would be pretty cool if it was possible. But I honestly don't know if it is. And I'm afraid to go out and spend, 10 grand, 20 grand on a tanker to test and then have it not work. Not to mention like a larger tanker for a lot more. Maybe what I'll do, come on, get over. Maybe what I'll do is set it up on a test farm and try it. And if it works, then bring it over to this one. I've never really had a big enough dairy operation that it mattered, but when our cows double, so not right away, because they have to be, 18 months to produce milk? So these calves that are about to be born, it'll be a year and a half before they start having, before we have to start dealing with milk. But we're going to be making a good bit of milk here sooner rather than later. Alright, we're halfway on this load. Probably about halfway down the opposite side, we'll hit our 22, and then after that, actually I probably won't even disconnect. I'll just pull this whole thing out and disconnect up in the yard and put the chaff into the silo. Alrighty. 65% here, eh? Look at that. That is looking mighty fine, mighty fine. It's gonna be a lot of corn grain, which I'm okay with, honestly. We can sell that when it's high, just like we're selling the soybeans for profit, and it'll be good to go. I think we're gonna have plenty of feed for these cows for the foreseeable future. I don't know how I want to rotate the fields. We already have the 2 smaller fields, what I call the twin fields, planted in grain. But I don't know what to do with the lower field or these 2 fields. I'll tell you what, if there was affordable potato harvesting equipment, I would totally do potatoes in this small field where the sunflowers were. I just think potatoes would be a cool crop to do, but it seems like the extra cost on equipment is not at all worth it. Oh wow. Alright, I thought this was going to be full like halfway down here, and it's looking like we're going to finish this entire side. Yeah, it's definitely all done. Alright, I'm happy with that yield-wise. The rest of this can go into corn grain for direct sale. Looks like the sunflower harvest is finishing up, which we love to see. We'll come up here on the road. Alright, good job, AI worker. Good job. Ba, 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 ba. Some of you older guys will recognize that song I was just singing. I cannot believe, totally unrelated to Farm Sim, but we've reached that point of the episode. I cannot believe that there has not been a creative spin-off of the A-Team. Like, nothing, there's not like an A-Team video game or an A-Team remake. Or how about this? You can steal my idea if you're creative and able to, but how about an A-Team for the 21st century that has guys who are vets from the War on Terror, but the same concept, like they're vets and they're smart and they use their experience to inform, you know? I think that'd be a cool show. I would watch that. Not to mention if they made like a video game where you could, instead of crafting, it would be fabricating like they used to do on the show, like putting armor plates on trucks and vans and crazy stuff. It'd be fun. All right, here we go. So this is going to be all ready to go for the continued corn harvest in the next episode. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this silage up off camera. You guys have seen that many, many times. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. When we come back, we'll be working on this corn harvest a bit more and probably start on the soybean field if we can get that done in an episode's time. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate everybody's time and attention. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.